The woman never expected that the little boy she had casually saved was actually already 16 years old. In this world, 15 was considered adulthood, and when she realized she had spent an entire night alone with a grown man, the elf girl's face instantly turned red. But what she never expected even more was that the man before her had actually come from another world, and the way he had been transported was also very bizarre. On the day before summer break, just as he was walking into his classroom, a blinding flash of light suddenly appeared before his eyes, and the next second, he found himself in a vast grassland. He was then attacked by a unicorn rabbit. Sensing the danger, Jack had no choice but to run. But he accidentally tripped, and when he fell, he happened to crush the unicorn rabbit to death. That was how he managed to save his own life. After calming down, Jack's top priority was to solve his food and water problems. Looking at the corpse beside him, Jack hesitated. After all, he didn't know how to start a fire yet, nor did he know if the meat was safe to eat. But just as he was worrying, an appraisal panel suddenly appeared before him, indicating that the unicorn rabbit was not only edible but also very suitable for making stew. So Jack immediately packed it into his bag. Then he began exploring his skills. He discovered that the system would appraise items based on his thoughts, so he tried appraising himself. Strangely enough, even though his class was clearly displayed as appraiser, there was a pseudo written in parentheses after it. Though he didn't understand why, there were still plenty of other skills for him to investigate. Among them, Eye of the Master looked very impressive, so he decided to test out that skill. But nothing happened when he called it out. With no other choice, Jack quickly activated the tutorial skill, but that skill required a lot of time. So Jack then activated the world map skill. Relying on that skill, he walked until dusk and finally reached a road. But just then, he noticed a monster staring at him with hungry eyes. At the critical moment, the elf girl appeared and saved his life. That was their first meeting. Thanks to his translation skill, Jack was able to communicate with her without any obstacles. After a brief exchange, Jack learned that this place was called the Labyrinth Devourer, and that he was extremely lucky to still be alive. Then Jack appraised the elf girl and learned that her name was Mary, that she held the title of Sniper of the Elf Forest, and that she was already 56 years old. After hearing Mary's introduction, Jack finally confirmed that he had really been transported to another world. Seeing that Jack seemed frightened, Mary instinctively pulled him into her arms to comfort him. The soft sensation made Jack not want to leave. When night came, thanks to the unicorn rabbit Jack had brought, the two of them enjoyed a hearty meal. To prevent monster attacks while sleeping, Mary set up a magic barrier before going to bed. But Jack, having just arrived in another world, couldn't fall asleep. From what he had learned, the appraiser class had a rarity rank of B. It allowed him to see a target's attributes and characteristics, but it came with no combat abilities. As for what the pseudo meant, Jack still hadn't figured it out. When morning came, Mary was surprised to discover that Jack possessed the rare world map skill. Not only did it have navigation functions, but it could also detect the locations of nearby creatures. Something countless people dreamed of having, but Jack seemed completely unaware of its value. Just then, Jack sensed that a crystal horn rabbit had appeared nearby. Mary immediately became excited, because the horn of a crystal horn rabbit could be used to make a universal medicine, and a single horn could sell for 200 gold coins. Dreaming of financial freedom, Mary sprang into action. Through appraisal, Jack learned that the crystal horn rabbit had both an escape skill and a presence detection skill, which meant they couldn't approach it carelessly. But Mary said that wasn't a problem, because her skill could block sound and scent. However, Jack noticed that Mary had only a bow and no arrows. Mary explained that she didn't need any. Her class was elf archer, and she could condense wind into arrows and shoot them. Seeing that her arrow had missed, Mary said that as long as the crystal horn rabbit still had its escape skill, they stood no chance. Then Jack came up with an idea. In theory, as long as it was under attack, the crystal horn rabbit couldn't activate its escape skill. So Jack planned to act as bait to lure the crystal horn rabbit, while Mary looked for an opportunity to strike. After devising the plan, Mary used earth magic to slowly trap the crystal horn rabbit inside a high wall, leaving only one opening on the side. Jack lay down on a rock right at the opening. If the crystal horn rabbit attacked, everything would unfold perfectly as planned.